disagio. Quante foglie vento quella fine di maggio.
Rabbia che ti prende e ti divora, niente che col tempo si consola.
Si alzano le voci sopra quest'inverno, gente per la strada in tutta Palermo. Niente si poteva immaginare,
Gli angeli hanno smesso di volare,
ma qualcosa è successo oramai.
Alright, so this is called Piazza Marina. I'm taking a little stroll in the morning. That's where we do have some sort of trees which are definitely unique. This is one of the oldest ones that we have in Italy, 150 years old. And I don't know if you can see, these are actually roots hanging off the branches, and then when they touch down and they reach the ground, they become a tree. Alright, so this is the famous plate dedicated to the memory of Gio Petrosino, police department lieutenant from New York City, who was killed here in 1909, March the 12th, and he was one of the first excellent victims of the mafia. He came here to investigate on the background, the criminal background, and he was ambushed and killed here. And he sits right next to the beautiful gardens of Marina Square.
che giusto sia l'essenziale.
Dire che sono anche affari miei è qualcosa che fanno gli eroi.
Tante volte dura questa salita,
giorni in cui ti giochi pure la vita.
Tanto quello che si può rischiare, tanto quello che vogliamo dare.
E qualcosa è successo oramai, oramai.
siamo capaci di ricominciare, di sollevarci e non cadere giù. Siamo capaci di aiutare chi si sente solo e non ci crede più. Siamo capaci di guardare in alto, capire quello che ora non si può. Siamo capaci di dire no. Siamo capaci di dire no. Siamo capaci.
Want to have a deeper knowledge about this town and about this region. Talking about the mafia is necessary. Of course, with the correct information, without glamorizing like the movies sometimes have done, or like trying to demolish all the cliché connected to the mafia and to the Sicilian. So this tour will be mostly about the Sicilian mafia, that by the way, we call it, you know how we call the mafia, the Sicilian mafia, you know? How? You said yes. We call it Cosa Nostra. Cosa Nostra. The expression they use to refer to the organization without naming it, you know? So, because Cosa Nostra literally could be translated like our thing, our stuff, our business somehow. So, you know, they cannot name the mafia because officially they have to always to deny the existence of the mafia. So if there is nothing, there is no thing, there is no name for that thing, you know? It's like, when I talk to younger students, they say it's like Voldemort. Remember Harry Potter? I mean, it's like he says, you know who? Ethical pub, like responsible economy, and they say that what should we do? One of them wrote the word pizza in the business plan because you know these are the risks, the expenses that we have to afford. Pizza is one of them. They, of course, it was the way to provoke something like thinking of the problem. And another guy one night had the idea of a simple phrase, simple words, and he proposed to his friends, why don't we print this phrase, if we agree in that, on stickers, and we paste them around the town by night, of course. So this is actually how Addio Pizza started, with the stickers like that, hundreds of those stickers. One night in summertime 2004 were pasted, they completely peppered the old town center, and they read simply, an entire people that paste the pizza is a people without dignity. Morning, there was chaos, chaos, because it was impossible to ignore these stickers. Shopkeepers passing by that have been paying pizza for a long time without even talking about that anymore could not ignore, could not, let's say, ignore them and could not tear their face. And it was also, as you can read, a message for the entire community. It's like it's not just their responsibility, shopkeepers, entrepreneurs. We all, as part of this community, are part of the system. We are consumers. When I go and buy a coffee in this bar, if the bar pays, I'm giving my money to the mafia, indirectly. So I'm part of the problem. I should be part of the solution as well. You know? The word dignity, of course, was also very effective because, you can even translate like, as long as we live under the mafia rule, after the mafia dominion that the Pizzo impose, we are not free. We will never be free. We will never have our dignity as a human beings, as people. A group of 100 people, but most of all supported by a large part of the community who, let's say, signed a petition, say, I will commit myself to support those businesses, to go there, to buy something, to express the fact that I'm with them, that they are not alone anymore. In the past, people have been killed because they were isolated. There was no support by the community, by the institution, and so of course for the mafia it's easy to shut them, While this was for the first time a community-based movement, and it was effective.
Abbiate siamo! Buongiorno! Mio amore! Espresso macchiato, per favore! Mio amore! Allora?
Mio amore, espresso macchiato, por favore.
The magistrates killed by the mafia. And again, you can, that is kind of hard, but you could read their names. From the very first one, Pietro Scaglione, to Falcone and Borsellino, right here. The first one was killed in the 70s, the last one was killed in 1992. So again, that's a range of years. This side.
So this is the plaza, the square of tribunals, and there are all the names of the magistrates, the district attorneys being killed. That's him again.
Yeah. So it's not that, it's not a Klux Klan. He's a member.
Hai fatto amicizia?
A member of the Spanish Inquisition. Oh, sorry. I want to say no, he's not one of the Spanish. He's a member of the so-called Beati Paoli. So who are the Beati Paoli? It's basically a legend that's very, very popular in Palermo. So the Beati Paoli was a legendary sect of sort of avengers, a group of Robin Hoods who were helped, who helped the poor people when they were victims of any abuse or any injustice. Really one of those legends that become very popular, especially for the working class. As you can see, like Sicilian product shop. They sell Sicilian wine, Sicilian honey, or liquor, or sun-dried tomato. Maybe if you want to buy later a souvenir from Sicily, this is a nice place. So somehow the message is passing. And nowadays, mafia people, they are smart, they are not stupid, realize that they have to be scared of the network rather than to try to scare single people, you know. And who still pay, there are still some shops who pay not because they are scared, but because eventually they think that they can have some benefits from the payment. Not protection, not a real protection, but we have some cases in Palermo in which we discovered that some shop owners or business people were paying because they wanted to ask, for example, to the local mafia boss some help against the competitors, for example. Or, you know, they had a problem with their workers. They sent the mafiosi to solve this situation. Or they needed to take some money back after, some credit. They had some credit. They prefer to ask the mafia to help them. So somehow there is a part of those who pay who are complicit, not really victims of pizza. They are paying because they access to illegal services.
Okay, I'm introducing to Marco, one of the 100 original founders of Addio Pizza, and he's part of the network since nowadays 12 years, and I'm actually in his shop, which the famous mascot is the cat. We try to catch him, but he doesn't want to be taken. Marco, grazie. Just continues. It's tiny, but it's beautiful. Very old school. It's like a real workout. And it's just amazing. You walk out that tiny little corridor, you get up to the terraces, you can have a full view of not only the cathedral from close up, but the whole city of Palermo surrounded by mountains. Look how beautiful it is. And here is the corridor. It's really, can you say, celestial? Feels like you can touch the sky. These are all the replicas of the plates commemorating mafia victims, and amongst others there is also the one dedicated to the victims of the Uffizi that happened in Florence, the bombing of 1993. This is the whole first floor of the Non Mafia Memorial.
Forse possiamo cambiarla, ma è l'unica che c'è. Questa vita di stragi e sorrisi e di mezze parole. Fosse 100 anni o 200, è un attimo che va. Fosse di un attimo appena, sarebbe com'è. Tutti vestiti di vento a inseguirci nel sole, tutti aggrappati ad un filo e non sappiamo dove. Signor tenente, che siamo usciti dalla centrale ed in costante contatto radio abbiamo preso la provinciale e dal chilometro 41 presso la casa cantoniera nascosto bene la nostra auto, che si vedesse che non c'era, e abbiamo montato l'autovelox e fatto multe senza pietà a chi passava sopra i 50, fossero pure i 50 d'età, e preso uno senza patente. Minchia, signor tenente, faceva un caldo che si bruciava. La provinciale sembrava un forno. C'era l'asfalto che tremolava e che sbiadiva tutto lo sfondo. Ed è così, tutti sudati, che abbiamo saputo di quel fattaccio, di quei ragazzi morti e ammazzati, gettati in aria come uno straccio e caduti a terra come persone che han fatto a pezzi con l'esplosivo, che se non serve per cose buone può diventare così cattivo che dopo quasi non resta niente. Minchia, signor tenente.
These two young ladies are the two leaders for the day, the one that been taking me around. I'm going to introduce you to Sara and
Hi.
Martina. Okay?
Hi, I'm Sara, I'm 21 and I attended the first year of law school in the University of Palermo.
Ah, okay, law school.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also I'm from here, from Palermo.
Palermitana.
Yes, sorry for my English. Okay. I'm Martina. I'm from Ragusa, that is a little city in Sicily, but far away from Palermo. I studied in Palermo at Fine Arts.
Fine arts.
Scenography.
Scenography, okay.
I worked here for a sort of service, come si dice?
Social service.
Social service. Va bene.
For the state.
Ok.
And I chose this place because I am interested in the phenomenon of mafia.
Ok.
Like tourists or students from the schools. Or
Italian schools.
Also
Other countries,
yeah.
other nationalities, foreign people. Okay.
Yeah. And
Tourists as well.
yeah,
From
tourists,
from Italy and from
Italy and from other countries.
also United States.
Yeah, a lot of United
A lot
States.
ad interest. What do they think after they see this? Che cosa pensano dopo aver visto? Non sono più contenti.
Loro credono
Sì.
che quando arrivano qua hanno
Sì.
un po' il mito
There's the myth of the mafia. Okay.
Esatto, della mafia,
Sì.
lo romanticizzano molto il fenomeno
Very romanticized and glamorized.
They think that
Yeah.
that man is Don Vito Corleone from The
Same.
Godfather, but it's not.
No. Va bene. And when they leave, what do you think? Quando escono, they think they realize that it's not fun, kind of.
They realize that it's not fun and it's a phenomenon that have caused a lot of victims.
Ok, so they realize that. Ok,
Yeah.
and that's already better than nothing, I see. Meglio che niente. Va bene ragazzi, io vi ringrazio.
Bye.
Bye bye guys. We're waiting for you in Palermo. Waiting for you in Palermo.
Nella notte sento colpi, le parole son pistole, volano lontane, luci spente, una bambina si nasconde tra le note, gioca a far la regina, proiettili come canzoni, veloci nella luce, resto senza voce, prometterò che il sole sorge sempre anche se...
So very close to the harbor, and in the morning, I gotta say, the traffic is pretty bad. I almost got killed twice already. There's a high school, and right here, on one of the walls, you have the famous murales, the famous painting dedicated to the memory of both Paolo Borsellino and Giovanni Falcone, killed in 1992, 57 days from each other. And this is a famous picture by Tony Gentile, and the painting was done by two street artists. And yes, this is still like literally, that's like the exit staircase, and that's where we have one of the first tribute and homage to the memory of the two magistrates. This is the condominium where Giovanni Falcone used to live, and in the following days after the bomb that killed him in 1992, used to be sit-ins and meetings by the local people of Palermo, and this one became a new, what they call it, like a civil monument to the memory of Giovanni Falcone. I'm now in the historical district of La Calza, in the central part of Palermo, the former Arab district. The Palermitan, the people from Palermo began the renaissance of the historical city center. This plate was laid here in July 19 of 1993, so 1 year later after the assassination. Now today this is called Casa di Paolo, used to be a pharmacy, and it is true, the city district has become very, very touristy. So right in the middle of this street, at the end you can see there is a soccer field and then buildings, and there is no way out, okay? Literally you have to do a U-turn, otherwise, right here, otherwise you can't return. Beautiful view, by the way, and that's where in July 1992 Cosa Nostra left parked a Fiat white pickup right across the Borsellino's mother's house, and he was killed along with other members of his police escort. This is a memorial tree which stands here since the year after, right in front of it. Vespa, of course, we're in Italy, and then you can see those are the names of the other victims. So among several theories, just like for the bombing of Falcone, one theory claims that the signal that ignited the bomb actually came from this castle that is called Utveggio, that sits on top of Mount Pellegrino and overviews the whole city of Palermo, and that's where Secret Services apparently participated in the assassination of Paolo Borsellino as he was discovering about the negotiation. Just one of the theories behind it.
Prometterò che il sole sorge sempre anche se poi non brucia. Il sale mi fa bene, non perdo la fiducia. Resterò vicina sempre più al mio sogno, che la paura, un viaggio forse ne ho bisogno per essere pronta ad avere coraggio, buttarmi dentro il fuoco senza avere caldo. E corro verso me, so che vi raggiungerò senza tracce, senza regole. E corro verso me, so che vi proteggerò oltre sangue, solo per amore. Proiettili come intenzioni attraversano memorie senza interruzione. Prometterò che un fiore nasce anche dove la terra brucia, che l'acqua mi fa bene, non perdo la fiducia. Resterò vicina sempre più al mio sogno, rischiare come un gioco forse ne ho bisogno per essere pronta ad avere coraggio. Cammino dentro il fuoco senza avere caldo. E corro verso me, so che vi raggiungerò senza tracce, senza regole. E corro verso me, so che vi proteggerò oltre sangue, solo per amore.
This is Federico, the tour leader for today. It's as you can see, it's not probably the greatest day. It's raining, it's pouring rain, and it's cold. And we are behind the city hall of Corleone. Federico just told me a few stories that I will tell you in a second moment. Questa è la chiesa
The Mother Church.
Madre.
Chiesa
Mother
di
Church.
San Bernardo.
Dedicated to one of the two patrons, the most important church in the city center of Corleone. And then just right across it there is a place that is specialized in souvenirs, in which they're not particularly welcome because they sell magnets.
Yeah, with the mafioso face.
Mafioso face and etc. Not only the Godfather, so we are passing. Bellino comunque, è pulito.
Sì. Rispetto a Palermo che ha 600 e passa mila abitanti si riesce a mantenere più pulito.
Compared to Palermo, Corleone it's smaller, so it's definitely more clean and neat. And these are all places, qui ci vivono persone comunque.
Sì.
This is all where the Corleonesi citizens live in. And so not too far from one of the buildings where Torrina used to live, we are now in Vico Triolo, and Federico is going to tell us the story about Little Murales.
Yeah, Tombstone was unfortunately, the old nickname that Corleone had. At the time when there was a big war between the mafia groups that killed over 100 people, and in the USA, Corleone was known as the Tombstone, so in Italian pietra tombale.
And what about the Godfather? Con Mario Puzo.
Yeah, you're right. So we still don't know how Mario Puzo chose this town name for the mafia family in the movie The Godfather, but a possibility is that Corleone, he started to know about Corleone because he heard about this war and he heard about the tombstone in the middle of Sicily.
So maybe it's just a coincidence, or maybe Mario Puzo.
For what Mario Puzo said in an interview, the only thing that make him to choose this town name, it was how he sounds. I mean the sound of the
how
name
it sounds.
Corleone. It was for him a very romantic name, and he chose Corleone because of this.
As the last name of the Godfather, and then the hometown of origin. The Godfather, the novel which Francis Ford Coppola, the movie director, took inspiration from. Okay, this is the tiny little alley. So this is a sort of a tombstone Murales. It's also very important.
So I think the best way to do anti-mafia in a territory like this one, like Corleone, is to show what the beautiful things that we have in this town. Don't be labeled just because of mafia, as the mafia capital, and to be known only because of that. Because we have so much to show that is a shame to have visitors only interested in mafia stuff.
That associate Corleone only to the mafia.
Yeah, that associate Corleone only to the mafia. It's important to know about our history, so it's fine if people are attracted because of mafia, because they want to know more. But once we are here, the best way to avoid the fact that they will leave thinking that Corleone is just mafia is to show what we have. And waterfalls are just one of the beautiful things we have in the territory.
Allora Federico, as a part of the Addio Pizzo Corleone Sorprendente Surprising Corleone Tour, we normally stop here at the waterfalls of the Due Rocche, the two rocks, which represent one of the natural beauty of this territory. And you're not specifically from here, but you're close related to the town also through your family ties, and you live about 10-15 minute drive from here, which is the next town, Prizzi. How do you feel about your territory, except the stereotype of the mafia? How much do you like it? And you said that you've been back after 10 years of traveling and working in Europe, but then you decided to come back. Why? Come mai poi dopo 10 anni ti piace, ok, vuoi tornare qua?
First of all, I came back because I was forced to admit it during COVID time. But once I stay here and once I start to work with tourists, I understood that I could do something for my territory, to show another kind of territory, to show once again the beautiful things that we have. And I'm very passionate about the anti-mafia thing, because I don't think it's fair to relate an old community, an old territory, to a bunch of criminals, like the mafiosi are. The majority of the population, of the people, always suffer because of mafia. The territory is a kind of a victim, and I mean the old territory, also my town. Okay? I could do something to show another point of view on the territory which is very important for me.
Okay. And today, basically, this is the waterfalls again. They're not like this in the summertime because unfortunately the area goes through several droughts. So today they're at the full beauty. I feel like in Iceland, I gotta tell you, especially because of the weather, but it's just breathtaking. I gotta tell you, natural beauty, and really glad that Federico took us here today. Okay, so I'm finally reaching the Laboratory of Legality. I don't know if we can translate it like this, sponsored by the Sicilian region. This house used to belong to Bernardo Provenzano, one of the top bosses of the mafia from Corleone. And then it's been confiscated, seized from the state and given back to the society. Okay, and here we are with Federico. Facci vedere la magliettina di Addio Pizzo. Sorry, because today, again, it has been so cold and rainy, but normally, there you go. That's the official jersey by Addio Pizzo Travel, which I'm taking the experience today with. Okay, allora, and then, by the way, you can see also there's several banners, Libera Terra, and then several paintings, Corleone, Partinico, all beautiful towns, which unfortunately the reputation has been associated, related to the mafia, and then Mafiopoli, which is a specific term used by Peppino Impastato, the one at the end here, basically how he used to call his town. Okay, and then this is one of the rooms. As of now, there is a middle school, so kids, they left their stuff here and they are upstairs. I'm going to do the two very soon.
Today is called the Laboratorio della Legalità, so Legality Lab. It's a place where we host students and tourists from everywhere, but especially we are focused on Italian students, and we try to explain what mafia is for us in Corleone. We try to give them the light of our point of view, at least, about mafia, because we all think we need to start
from the young kids, from the young people. So it's very important to do that in a house that was from a mafiosi, because it makes you understand how the state now is working for legality in a place that before was in the hands of mafia people.
This painting, Federico just told me that's where, here outside in what used to be called Montagna dei Cavalli, Provenzano spent most of his years as a fugitive. And the owners so on the left, that's where he was living, and then on the left they were making fresh ricotta cheese every day, and that was made on purpose just to justify the in and out of people who would go there not only to buy the ricotta but also to deliver the orders from the boss, the so-called pizzini. Also, this villa used to belong to one of the local bosses allied of the Corleonese, Lobue. It's beautiful. It is partially owned now by the forest guards. It's been given back to the society. And then here we have one place that it's the financial guard.
Proprio abbiamo ricreato, questo era il frigorifero anticamente, e abbiamo ricreato proprio una casa tipica. Vivevano così, in una stanza tutte insieme, 10 figli pure, e più numerosa era la famiglia meglio era. E la mula era membro della famiglia, era
pure la mula.
Certo, nemmeno era come stufa, ma era indispensabile per andarsene a lavorare e per fare il lavoro dei campi. Corleone have a contrast, you know. On the front of you have 100 cruises. And I want to know, in Corleone have 100 churches. But it's a Christian's a religious town. Corleone is a little town. 10,000 people lives here. But I don't understand why here was born some mad bosses.
Your choice is not to show their pictures of the bosses, is that correct?
I write just the name.
Just the name.
Yes, because as dangerous people, you know, as not a hero.
So there is no they're not heroes, there is no glorification of these men. Okay, bene, it's a great choice. We are now going down to hell. Okay, we're following the 3 levels of the Divine Comedy by Dante, and this is hell. We're visiting hell, so we go underground.
E qua andiamo a spiegare noi, diciamo che le anime buone risalgono in alto, le anime dannate ci discendono in basso, e in corrispondenza dei boss, diciamo, sono ridiscese all'inferno e guardano gli orrori che hanno commesso nella vita. Le pietre rappresentano l'uccisione di Placido Rizzotto, è stato assassinato e buttato in una foibe di Rocca Busambra. Il lettino quando hanno ucciso Giuseppe Letizia, che era un bambino di 12 anni, gli hanno inoculato un'iniezione letale.
Barrels where corpses of the victims were being bruciati o sciolti?
No, li scioglievano nell'acido muriatico.
Melted in muriatic acid, and then the last, questo?
Allora, questo diciamo è il tocco finale, quando diciamo, ecco, come finisce la carriera di un boss. Ha 2 possibilità: uno che viene ucciso dalla mafia stessa, o lo mettono in prigione per tutta la vita, nel 41 bis. E c'è proprio il boss rinchiuso in una cella isolamento che gioca una partita a scacchi col diavolo. Ecco, questo dà proprio un messaggio universale a fare attenzione a quello che si cerca nella vita, meglio una vita alla luce del sole, fatta di duro lavoro, e non vendere l'anima al diavolo per soldi e potere come hanno fatto i boss e la mafia stessa, perché si rischia di fare questa fine.
Okay, I'm now at the Cidma in Corleone, and I'm now going to introduce you to the lady who took me around. I'm sitting, and behind, as you can see, we have the pictures of the 2 magistrates, Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino. And then this is the folder room, which I've shown you already. They host about less than 30% of the folders which have been used for the Maxi Trial of Palermo. Okay, and in front of me, I'm going to introduce you to Ilenia. Ciao.
Hi everyone, I'm Ilenia, I'm 30 years old and I was born here in Corleone.
I have a degree in political science and international relations.
Just
and
like me.
today I'm really
Exactly the same.
Okay, great. I'm working as a guide in Cinema Corleone, a museum where we narrate the story about mafia, but especially about anti-mafia.
Okay. So finally, I'm gonna have you listening to the voice of someone who was born and raised here, okay, except for the studying period, I guess. Quindi quando hai studiato a Palermo, she studied in Palermo. So finally, someone who's 30 years old, okay. The question for you is, qual è il tuo ricordo della mafia? What's your memory? What do you remember about the mafia since you are from here? Okay.
Fortunately, I'm very young and I didn't live all those terrifying years, but I know many people who have horrible memories about the mafia here in Corleone, because mafia was very, very violent, and even if people didn't want to be involved, actually nobody could live a normal life here. And that's why today we are very thankful to all those people who fought against mafia, because it's only thanks to them if today I'm free to talk about this and to live my life normally.
Quindi la domanda è se andiamo qui a Corleone e chiediamo a ragazzi della tua età che cosa è la mafia, ci sono problemi a parlarne, do they care if I'm gonna ask people who are your age if we can speak about the mafia? Do you think they say okay, I know? What do they say? What is their answer?
Yeah, of course, all the young people that you will meet here in Corleone will tell you that mafia is a mountain of shit. It's our typical sentence.
Sì.
But of course, we are not scared anymore of mafia. We try to change the idea that people have of Corleone and the whole Sicily in general. Because the new generations want to do things differently and to work honestly and legally, of course.
Do they want to stay in Corleone or they want to leave?
No, my dream is to live in Corleone.
Okay, so to live in Corleone.
No,
to live. Okay,
Corleone.
so
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a very nice village, but of course it's also very small. There aren't a lot of opportunities for young people, so yeah, we love it, but just for holidays.
Just for holidays, okay.
Yeah.
If we ask the same question to your parents or people, like it could be the age of your grandparents, what would you think instead? What do you think? What would they say?
Yeah, my parents love Corleone and in general all older people, because it's a very, very quiet and safe village.
Okay.
It's a paradox, but it's very safe today. So there isn't criminality, there are a lot of honest people to work, and there is a very good society, people helping each other and so on.
So sense of community.
Yes.
Fantastic, okay. And the last question for Ilenia is, what does she think of the change that we have had in the last few years in Corleone, the impact of tourism, and why she speaks English?
Okay, great. So of course there are a lot of tourists in Corleone. It's a very, very famous village worldwide because probably because of the movie The Godfather, no? The main character was called Vito Corleone, so that's why Corleone is so famous. And even if people come to Corleone because they think mafia is cool and they want to see how Sicilian people live, actually we try to explain them that mafia is very different, that mafia was awful and it's not as cool as you think.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's what we are doing in this museum, to make people change their idea about Corleone. I speak English so well because I studied it at school and I travel a lot.
And where do you travel? For work also before?
For work, yeah. I work with Erasmus projects. So
to study abroad for the European students?
Yeah, I also speak Spanish because I did 1 year Erasmus in Canary Islands. And yeah, and that's it. I work abroad many times.
Okay, very interesting life, okay. And then in the back we had the two statues of
Falcone and Borsellino, our heroes.
Bene, grazie mille.
Grazie a te. Che abbiamo è questo qui, perché contiene le dichiarazioni di Tommaso Buscetta.
Questi sono dei faddoni originali.
E questi qui sono stati, cioè quella lì per esempio è proprio la calligrafia di Giovanni Falcone. Se vuoi
sì,
puoi sfogliare.
Grazie. Sì, perché intanto per curiosità.
quello
È
lì
comparso
proprio
Buscetta
un estratto
Tommaso.
proprio di una dichiarazione di Tommaso Buscetta, sì.
No, pazzesco. This is a beautiful area, the countryside, the mountains that surround Corleone, and there's an agriturismo somewhere around here that I cannot see. This is a whole property which has been confiscated to the mafia as well, and that's where there is this agritourism where you can actually come and enjoy the beauty and relax of these areas, except that for today, because of course the bad weather, cold, rain has been taking me company since early on this morning. Coming to the conclusion of this experience here from the waterfront of Palermo. It's a trip which I would honestly recommend 100%. Just for a couple of days, 2-3 days, it's enough to experience the beauty and the ugly of the city. It's a city of contrast, like the whole island. It's so beautiful on the one hand, but on the other hand you can actually see and touch with your hands poverty. I just went through the ancient historical La Calza district. Today I've done another whole experience with Addio Pizzo. I spoke to one of the founders, and I really feel that it's different from definitely from reading. Anyway, besides that, what they tell you, the passion. I'm just trying to reorganize my ideas. The passion. You do feel inspired by their example. Everyone is always very loud, I gotta tell you, I'm not used to it. On the one hand, on the other hand, they're very lively, and the dignity of an entire people and the desire they have to show the beauty of this island besides the ugly, as I said. It's a city of contrast, again, where definitely the mafia is one of the bad aspects, and yeah, I gotta tell you, you won't be satisfied if you hope and you think you see the mafia. You don't see mafiosi, okay? That would be extremely stupid to think. But you don't see it, but you kind of feel it, okay? Especially after the explanations of the No Mafia Memorial and the Addio Pizzo travel. With that examples of redemption, I would say that for the first time I really felt what it is like leaving the mafia. In conclusion, again, just trying to think, there's a lot of thoughts in my mind, but absolutely satisfied to see that there is also a beautiful answer, okay, to the mafia, and great alternatives. If you're coming, again, I gave you all the inspiration and information about the anti-mafia tours, and that's the way how we support them, because all of the money, again, we heard, they go to the it's a no-profit association, Addio Pizzo, but also Libera, and there's a few other serious cooperatives who are all no-profit, and for example they give assistance to merchants, shop vendors, shop owners who might fear consequences or their denial to pay the pizza to the mafia. On the one hand, I discovered an alternative Sicily. The surprising Corleone tour was to me probably the most beautiful moment in the whole experience. And then again, I've been amazed by how beautiful this whole land is. So yes, thanks for your patience. I hope you appreciated my direct tale of this beautiful experience.
Sono stati uomini che hanno scritto pagine, appunti di una vita dal valore inestimabile, insostituibili perché hanno denunciato il più corrotto dei sistemi, troppo spesso ignorato. Uomini o angeli mandati sulla terra per combattere una guerra di faide e di famiglie sparse come tante biglie su un'isola di sangue che fra tante meraviglie, fra limoni e fra conchiglie, massacra figli e figlie di una generazione costretta a non guardare, a parlare a bassa voce, a spegnere la luce, a commentare in pace ogni pallottola nell'aria, ogni cadavere.